Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Tomorrow is the big day and the start of Benidorm Fest 2024. We will have the first semi-final, then the second semi-final on Thursday, and a big final on Saturday. So I thought to get in the mood and kind of remember the songs as well, I might do another video on Benidorm. I did one a few weeks ago in Spanish, so if you prefer to watch that, there's a link in the description. But my opinion on some of the songs has also changed, and so I thought it makes sense to make another video before the show. I will also do some reactions after the show, I'm quite sure. Three things I will do in this video. First one you can see already right there is a ranking of all the songs in a tier list. Then I will also try to predict which songs will make it out of the two semi-finals. And I will also let you know who I think Spain should send. You can see the question right there. To Eurovision 2024 to have the best chance of doing well. If you want to skip to any of those parts, use the timestamp in the video. Now let's get right to it and start with the ranking in this tier list. We have the top 4, top 8, top 12, and bottom 4. The first entry I want to talk about is Jorge González with Caliente. In a few parts of the song, he reminds me a bit of Ricky Martin. It's, of course, a Latin pop song that could have come out 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and could be a Ricky Martin song, actually. I think he's kind of trying to be the male Chanel of this year with a great dance performance. I'm really looking forward to see how he will stage this song. I think in the composition of the song, you can hear that it is kind of made for a performance in a way, but I do like it, and I'm kind of excited to see the performance as well, for several reasons that you might understand if you have seen him. Now, Lérica, this was one of my favorites in my Spanish video from a few weeks ago, Astronauta. It is still quite good, I think. It reminds me of Avicii in the chorus and of Maître Gim in the verses, which is a good comparison, but it has kind of fallen flat a little bit with time because it just repeats the same thing over and over again. I also think that in a chorus, there are very few words in a chorus. I'm kind of intrigued or anxious, depending on which perspective you want to take, how they will stage that when there's not a lot of words in a song. What are they going to do during the chorus? So that's something I'm a bit concerned about. I do think that they might have a cool staging because the video has these cool effects, and I hope they use that. But for now, it has gone down a little bit in my estimation. Then Mantra Me Vas a Ver. This kind of reminds me of Noche Entera. It has very interesting in the song and the chorus and the catchiness of the song, but it's also very repetitive. Like, it goes through the motions over and over again, and there's not a lot of variation in the song. There are also harmonies between the female vocal and the male vocal that will be very hard to replicate live. So I'm interested to see how they will do that. But overall, I think there's just something missing in the song. It has grown on me, I have to say. It's because of the catchiness. I have it in my head from time to time. And when I hear it, I think, oh, this is actually quite a good song, but something is missing. Then we have De La Cruz, Beso en la Mañana. This is very summery, Latin vibe, and this is something that I think people expect from Spain. It has kind of a modern sound, but then there are other songs in this competition that do what this wants to do a little bit better, I think. So there's still something missing, and he doesn't necessarily look like he has a lot of experience yet, and that might hurt him in the live performance, but we shall see how that goes. Then we have Almacor. This is one of the songs that kind of tries to do a similar thing and is better at doing that, I think. This sounds very current, very modern, very Quevedo, kind of the thing that is also successful in Spain. It is very catchy too, but this was one of my favorites last time. It has gone down a bit for me. I had it in my playlist, and sometimes I had to skip it because it's just very repetitive as well, and didn't really hold my attention anymore. But my first reaction was good, and I still think it's a good song, so I'll keep it in the top 4. I may change that in a minute. Then we have Sofia Koll, Here to Stay. I have really tried with this because it's a big fan favorite. I tried to listen to it again and again and again, but for some reason I just can't get into it. I do think it has a nice build, a nice beginning. I like that it's in English and Catalan in Spanish. As you know, I like different languages. But the chorus and the beat in the chorus is just so dated to me that I can't really get into it. I do like the lyrics too. It's like self-assurement. I'm here to stay. Look what I did. And she has this part in English. I don't like spoken word parts usually in songs, but here it makes sense where she says, this is for everyone who doesn't speak Spanish. That makes sense. But I'm very sorry, but I really don't understand this song. This is my personal opinion. It doesn't mean it's a bad song. It's just that I don't really find a connection to the song. Next up, we have Angie Fernandez, Sé Quien Soy. I think she's the most famous name in this lineup. She was a very famous actress, or is a very famous actress, had very big roles like 20 years ago. And she also did songs back then, and her style hasn't really changed. This is kind of the same thing. And it does sound like early 2000s rock pop. The chorus is good. I like the spunk that is in it. And it has grown on me, I have to say. It is quite catchy, but still, I think it's not as good as some of the other songs. And it's just a bit dated to me as well, or seems dated at least. Next up, we have Nebulosa. I love this. You might say, well, you don't like dated songs. Why do you like this one? Yes, it's a bit 80s. It's very retro. But the lyrics of this are so amazing. Sora is like a very derogative term for women in Spain. And she kind of takes that and makes it into something strong. Like she reappropriates it in a way. Because she says, they're going to call me Sora no matter what I do. When I'm successful, they're going to say I'm successful because I'm a Sora. And so it's a very fun and feminist song. The video is fun as well. And I like the feminist message in it. The retro part kind of works also because it's about a woman with experience who just says, well, you know, you're not going to change your opinion about me, so I'm just going to do what I want. And maybe she started doing what everyone wanted back in the 80s when this kind of music was cool. I don't know. But this seems to be quite successful in Spain as well. And I still really, really like this, even after listening to it quite a lot, I have to say. Next up, we have Maria Pelae. I did an interpretation of this song, and I really did a deep dive into the lyrics, and they are just extraordinary. I think they're the best lyrics I have ever interpreted or ever seen almost. There are references to the Spanish Civil War, to freedom going away, and we have to fight for freedom. It's about her grandparents. It's about us. It's about the past, the present, and the future. Just amazing. And the song itself, I did like from the very first time I heard it. I like songs that have a bit of a traditional element to it. But this song, other than Ia that some people have compared it to, is very accessible to me. Like I can really listen to it and get into it. I'm special. I know that I'm not the general audience, but this is more accessible than Ia, and it is really catchy, really strong. There's lots of variation in it, and I like that. And this is an amazing piece of art and song, and so it is definitely in my top 4. Then I have Marlena, Amor de Verano. This is kind of almost my least favorite. I think it's quite generic. It doesn't really stand out. It's very monotonous, goes through the motions in a way. So yeah, I don't have anything that really connects me to this song, unfortunately. Then we have Noan with De Hecho de Menos. This was in my top 8, I think, in my Spanish video. This has grown on me so much. You cannot believe it. For some weeks, this was the song I listened to the most. I cannot really explain it, but that's kind of what I love about Eurovision. There's nothing that special about the lyrics or about the song. I love how he goes higher with his voice in the chorus, but I can't really explain why I love this so much. But it gives me strength and power in the morning, and I just think that this is good. It's actually, I think, even better than Maria Pelae, even though Maria Pelae as a work of art is much better. But subjectively, I feel a lot also when I listen to Noan. Then we have Kikenitsa. I like some of his earlier songs, and this one is not that dissimilar, but something is kind of missing. I don't know what it is. The verses are good, but the chorus, well, I do know what it is because the chorus is just not good enough for me. And so I'll put this in the top 12 as well. Then we have Roger Padros, kind of similar to Angie Fernandez and what's the other one? Mantra, in that I think I hear it and I think it's a good song, and then I kind of forget about it. I love that this is in Catalan, could be the first Spanish entry in Catalan, and he has a nice voice, it has nice verses. I like the electronic parts that are added, but it's not too much. But overall, there's just something that is kind of missing in this. Then we get to San Pedro. I adore this now. I think I had it in my lower top 4, even in my Spanish video, but I just think this is so relaxing, so sweet, so nice, so bolero. There's Latin elements. It feels Caribbean. It feels like you're sitting at the beach and you just feel at one and happy with life in a way. That's what I feel when I listen to the song. The lyrics are about a relationship being over and you think about the other person. I do think that with a very good intimate staging, this could be really, really impactful, and this has grown on me a lot. I love all 3 of them, Noan, Maria Pela, and San Pedro, so it's a bit hard to say whether one is first or second. He has 2 videos for this song. The first one, he's just sitting there drinking a coffee, and I love that one. And then he has a new one where there are more things happening. He's in a leather jacket, he's in bed with a woman. And I think that's too much. I think the song needs something more simple and intimate. And I hope that they don't overstage it, because I think an intimate staging would really help this quite a lot. Then we have Jolisa, a bit like Roger Padros. I listen to it, I like it, and then I kind of forget about it. I'll put it in the same vein as Roger Padros in the top 12. And then Miss Cafeína, sorry, but this is just not my cup of tea as a song, I guess. But yeah, I think it will have its fans. Then I have to change a few things because I have 5 songs in the top 4. I mean, this hurts a bit, but no, actually Almacor, because it's just a bit too repetitive. Then I can take one up. I think I'll take, yeah, Mantra maybe, because it's quite catchy. Or De La Cruz, one of the 2, or Angie Fernandez also. And then in the lower one, yeah, maybe Kikenitsa, but he's definitely one of the better ones in the bottom 4. So this is my ranking. As I said, my big favorite is Noan, Maria Pelay, and San Pedro right after that. And then Nebulosa I also like very, very much. Now, before answering the question who Spain should send to Eurovision, I also want to predict who will qualify from the 2 semifinals tomorrow and on Thursday. So let's look at that. This is the first semifinal. I think it's a little less strong than the second semifinal. I think that Lerica and Astronauta will make it. They are quite famous. Well, in the vein of Benidorm Fest, they're quite known. They have the most streams of everyone, so I do think that this might work. I also think that Angie Fernandez, because the song is not bad, but also because she's quite famous in Spain, will make it. I do think that Nebulosa will also make it because Spanish people get the message of the song and it's just good. Also has a lot of streams already. And then personally, as you know, I would like Noan to be in the final, but I think that probably Sofia Koll. I cannot forget that everyone kind of loves this song for reasons I don't personally understand, but I do think that she might make it. Let's look at the second semifinal, which I think is stronger, but I do think that Maria Pelay and Remitente have to make it. It's such a good song and such a beautiful song. I also think that San Pedro will make it with Dos Extraños because it just stands out. There's no other song that is slow like this, relaxing like this, and it will just be very special on the night. And I also think that Almacor with Brillos Platino will make it because it's a good song and it's just very current and very now, I think. And that leaves one more. And it might be Roger Padros if Catalunya gets behind him, but I think that Jorge Gonzalez will have a very good stage show, and so I think he might actually do it as well. Now let's get to the question, who should Spain send to Eurovision before the show? I will make another video after the two semifinals. At least I'm planning to do that. I have a few ideas for you. There are three that I would think could do quite well at Eurovision. First is Maria Pelae. Some people say we shouldn't send another flamenco, or Spain shouldn't send another flamenco because Ea Ea by Blanca Paloma didn't work, only got 5 points from the televote. But this is a song that, as I said, is more accessible, I think. If she does a good staging that kind of gets the message across as well, it might work much better, because the staging by Blanca Paloma was very artsy, but it didn't really help you understand the meaning of the song. And I'm kind of hoping that Maria Pelae has a staging that does that. And then it is just a more accessible song. It's more catchy, more something, and it will get a lot of the jury vote that Ea Ea got, and then a few more televotes. And Ea Ea came 17th, so this one could do better than that. I do believe that. Then Almacor, because it is so current, because it is so catchy. The first time I heard it, I really liked it, and I only got tired of it later. But in Eurovision, most people will listen to this song once, one single time, and it has to hit that single time. And I think this song actually has the possibility to do that. And then last but not least, my pick for Spain for Eurovision before seeing the stagings would be San Pedro. Here's why. Spain is in the Big Five, doesn't have to qualify from a televote-only semifinal, and it will be in a final full of songs that made it through a semifinal that only had televoting. So there might be a lot of loud songs, a lot of rock, pop, out there entries, and a song like this, when you are already in the final, might be the perfect choice for Spain, because it will get a lot of jury votes. A lot of people who like a slower song will go for this, because there won't be that much on offer maybe in the final. And it is just a special song. They have to create a very special feeling with the staging, kind of Amar pelos dois by Salvador Sobral, something like that, very intimate, just him. Don't go out too much, don't do too much with this, because it will have the most impact when you leave it as it is, and very, very simple staging. That would be my pick. Let me know in the comments who you think will qualify from the semifinals, and also who you think Spain should send, and your personal favorites. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you for my next video. Again, I will probably do reactions to the semifinals and also tell you my prediction of the final later on. So see you then, and bye-bye.